Let's get on to the law and order stuff first. Let's get that out of the way, and we'll get to the juicy stuff. So left judges arrested. Man, I was so happy when I saw that. I was like, ha! Oh, fuck around and find out, huh? Yeah, that's what happened there. All right. So is this, what is it, CNN?
It is CNN,
yes. Our most favorite news outlet is CNN. All right. Let's put this.
Today's dramatic escalation in the Trump administration's conflict with judges. A protest getting underway in Milwaukee, Wisconsin this hour after FBI agents arrested a county circuit judge this morning. The Justice Department accusing Judge Hannah Duggan of helping an undocumented immigrant avoid arrest after he appeared in her courtroom last week. This appears to be the first time the Trump administration has charged a sitting local official with obstructing immigration enforcement, at least that we know of.
That's her picture up on the screen, Hannah Duggan, who is now in custody. You cannot obstruct a criminal case, and really, shame on her.
That, of course, the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, on Fox News touting the judge's arrest after the FBI director, Kash Patel, first broke the news in a post on the platform formerly known as Twitter. It was later deleted. Patel wrote this, quote, "We believe Judge Duggan intentionally misdirected federal agents away from the subject to be arrested in her courthouse, Eduardo Flores Ruiz, allowing the subject, an illegal alien, to evade arrest." Let's get straight to CNN's Whitney Wild. She is live outside the federal courthouse in Milwaukee. Whitney, what more are you learning about this arrest?
These unsealed court documents give quite a bit of detail about what federal law enforcement thinks led up to this, what they felt was their obligation to eventually arrest this judge. They say this all stemmed from an incident that happened April 18th when Flores Ruiz was due in court in front of Judge Hannah Duggan. He was there to appear on battery charges. Through the course of the morning, Judge Duggan learned that federal agents were there to arrest him. There were about 6 federal agents there from multiple agencies, the FBI, DEA, and ICE among them. According to the complaint, when Judge Duggan learned that they were there to arrest Flores Ruiz, she became very upset. She actually pulled some of those agents aside and had a phone call with the chief judge in which the chief judge insisted that any arrests would have to take place in the public area of the courthouse. And this is crucial, Casey, because what they say happened next was that Judge Duggan went into her courtroom and as Flores Ruiz and his attorney were set to leave through the public door, the door that would have led to the hallway, she, according to the complaint, said, "Wait, come with me," and then ushered them through the jury door, which took them to a private area of the courthouse. That made it obviously much more difficult for these agents to arrest Flores Ruiz. They were able eventually through the course of the morning to arrest him, but what the FBI makes clear in that complaint is that they believe that was an obstruction of justice, and so they've moved forward with this arrest.
Right,
and while, as you point out,
all right, so context here. The person that was on trial was an illegal migrant who had committed other crimes aside from crossing illegally. Crossing the border is already a crime. A lot of people don't like when I call illegal aliens criminals, but that's what they are because they came here incorrectly, illegally. That's a criminal offense. Aside from that, this person not only did that criminal offense by coming here the wrong way, he did another offense by committing a crime. He hit a woman and a man. He beat the shit out of them, right? So he's on trial, right, because he has charges pressed against him for hurting 2 innocent people, and the judge knows this person is illegal and wanted by the federal government, and purposefully, instead of allowing him to go through the front where everybody can see him come out of the courtroom, he goes through the back. That's not obstruction of justice? Of course it is, because you knew exactly why the federal agents were there, and you decided to just be this heroic person, which, by the way, there's a leftist who says that, and we're going to get to that, because you think you're above the law. You think because you're a judge, you can do this and get away with it. And this is a very strong message to every single judge or anybody in a federal job who is obstructing justice, you're going to end up behind bars as well. So this is a great message to anybody who's trying to fuck around, who's literally living off of our taxpayer money. That's all I got to say about that. So they cut off the original video of Pam Bondi talking about the case, of course, because this is a left-leaning platform and they have their own narrative. So we're going to go to the actual platform where she was talking about that, and that was Fox. So let's go to that one whenever you're ready. That way she gives you the full context of what happened in that courtroom and why this judge was arrested.
But first, a Wisconsin judge under arrest and facing charges accused of flouting federal law to help an illegal immigrant. Federal prosecutors say Milwaukee County Circuit Court Judge Hannah Dugan allegedly helped that migrant avoid arrest by ICE officers at the courthouse. It's a bizarre case and it's still unfolding. Hello, I'm John Roberts in Washington. Sandra, good to see you back again.
All right, good to be back with you as well, John. I'm Sandra Smith in New York, and this is America Reports. So today's arrest of a judge marks the second such case in the last 24 hours. A former New Mexico judge and his wife were taken into custody yesterday. Federal agents arresting them for harboring a suspected Tren de Aragua gang member in their guest house.
For more on all of this, we are honored to have in the new U.S. Attorney General, Pam Bondi. It's good to talk to you, Pam.
Good to talk to you.
So let me read a little bit from the criminal complaint here. And Judge Dugan says, despite having been advised of the administrative warrant for the arrest of Flores Ruiz, Judge Dugan then escorted Flores Ruiz and his counsel out of the courtroom through the jury door, which leads to a non-public area of the courthouse. A foot chase ensued. The agents pursued Flores Ruiz for the entire length of the courthouse and ultimately apprehended him. According to this complaint, Judge Dugan was visibly angry that ICE was there to arrest Flores Ruiz, even tried to kick the deportation agents out of the courthouse.
Yeah, and to set the stage for you and Sandra, this was truly horrific. This guy was in court being prosecuted by a state prosecutor for domestic violence battery. He had beat up two people, a guy and a girl, hit the guy 30 times, knocked him to the ground, choked him, beat up a woman so badly they both had to go to the hospital. And John, you know, it's so rare for victims to want to cooperate. They wanted to cooperate. They were sitting in the courtroom with the state prosecutor. The judge learns that ICE was outside to get the guy because he had been deported in 2013, came back in our country, commits these crimes, charged with committing these crimes, victims in court. Judge finds out, she goes out in the hallway, screams at the immigration officers. She's furious, visibly shaken, upset, sends them off to talk to the chief judge. She comes back in the courtroom, you're not going to believe this, takes the defendant and the defense attorney back in her chambers, takes them out a private exit and tells them to leave, while a state prosecutor and victims of domestic violence are sitting in the courtroom.
Wow.
You know, Madam Attorney General, great to have you here, and thanks for coming back.
That's it? Yeah, that's it. All right. So the judge who did that, obstructing justice and literally like allowed the defendant, like the lawyer that was defending the criminal / illegal alien, I don't think that's gonna fly. I think they're gonna make a big example out of her. And there was another judge who got caught because there was a tip. Somebody, I'm assuming they're working with intelligence, they were able to get a tip that he was having 3 illegal migrants in their home doing what they were calling odd jobs, like, you know, like cleaning and, you know, cutting the grass or whatever, supposedly, allegedly. And then that he also tampered with evidence by destroying their cell phones or something like that. So him and his wife were also arrested. That happened 2 days ago. That happened, I believe, on Thursday. The arrest with this judge obstructing justice happened on Friday. And this is a win. And at the same time, it's a strong message for the justice system that's being weaponized against its American citizens. That judge is she's not for the people. She's not. She's for the globalist agenda, which is no borders and allow as many people come here, dilute the culture, dilute what it is to be an American, values, principles. All of that shit goes out the window because we're supposed to just allow these people to come here and then ignore the fact that these people are criminals. And check this out. This is a leftist. Go to the next one. This is a leftist literally saying what this lady did was heroic and incredible.
Say hi to DJ.
Oh, what it do? Thank you for showing up. I appreciate you. This is crazy, guys. Like, let me know what you guys think about this. This is never in my life would have ever seen that two judges would get arrested in 1 week. Pretty crazy.
There will be times for civil disobedience. And to me, let's say she did escort this guy out the door. If federal enforcement agencies come to your courtroom and you help a guy escape, that is two things. One, it strikes me as maybe something illegal, but it also strikes me as something heroic. And in times of trouble, then people are sometimes called to do civil disobedience. And in my view, when people do civil disobedience, they have to pay the price. That's part of the heroism of it, frankly. And so you can both think that she shouldn't have legally done this, and that morally protecting somebody against, maybe not even in this case, but in other cases, frankly, a predatory enforcement agency.
That's it.
Sometimes.
Predatory enforcement agency. That's what he's calling the agencies that are supposed to be protecting us, like Homeland Security, is a predatory enforcement agency. Okay, so which essentially what he's saying is that the executive branch, which is the branch that enforces the laws on the books, is predatory, apparently, because it is wrong for them to want to enforce the laws in this country. It is very wrong. And it's heroic for that lady to have allowed somebody who hurt a woman, all right? He beat the shit out of the guy, but he beat up a woman to go through the back. Okay, if that would have been an American, I promise you she wouldn't have done that shit. But because this is a illegal migrant, she thought she was righteous and virtuous into having to be able to, she had to do that. For the sake of who? Who were you trying to help aside from him? Somebody who literally beat the shit out of a woman. Like, who were you trying to protect? Because you were protecting the community. You allowed this guy to literally leave through the back without getting arrested by ICE.